Today we took it to Applebee's because they had a new item on their menu. As we always do, if something is new, I'm gonna try it out. So they have one new entree and one new dessert, which is over here. I'm not gonna show you this yet, just because there's gonna be a little prep work involved because it's a skillet. So I'm gonna do a little bit of prep just to get it back to what it's supposed to be at the restaurant. And then we have one of our healthy options that people were asking about from these chain restaurants. So if I find something, I'll do a little bit of research and do something when it comes a part of that. But this is the main thing that we were here for. This is Applebee's new hot honey glazed chicken and bacon skillet. So it comes with waffle fries, a chicken breast with hot honey and bacon and parsley, and then there's mushrooms and onions on the bottom. I've never really been a person who eats a lot of Applebee's skillets, but it was the first time for everything. So that is what is on the agenda today, man. Drop a thumbs up. You guys already know the vibes. And let's get into this video. I also did get an extra thing of hot honey on the side because sometimes they don't give me enough sauce. We know what we're dealing with the waffle fries. I do think this chicken looks kind of decent for, you know, what you're expecting from Applebee's. Expectations at Applebee's are usually like, meh, but that's why we do these things. Got a little mushroom and onion on the bottom, then that hot honey on the top. Pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. Let me get a little more hot honey on here, though. It's the biggest mushroom I have ever seen from Applebee's. Get a little mushroom onion. We'll get a piece of this chicken, and we'll go in for the hot honey. The sauce makes it 1,000 times better than just eating it as is. This is just one of those things that, if I'm being perfectly honest, which I always try to be, why would you do this as a new menu item? Not something that you would get excited about at any of these places. Like, I don't really dislike it, though. The waffle fry in here this time. The chicken is a grilled piece of chicken breast, the same one you get with all of their other chicken dishes. The difference is they switched out some of the things for waffle fries and added mushrooms and onions. And this hot honey sauce, which more tastes like honey sauce. I'm gonna get a waffle fry in here. It's not very hot, as normal hot honey would be. But it almost tastes like just like a honey glaze. And it does make this meal 1,000 times better than it would be without it. For me, this is just $16 at Applebee's. I try everything new, but it's not moving me to the point that I would even recommend that anybody in their right mind would go to Applebee's and try it. Even if you are at Applebee's, there's about 30 other things there that I would order before this. Waffle fries are crispy. Honey sauce is good. I would suggest that you do is get another dish and ask for this hot honey sauce on the side. That would be my play. I saw that you could get this on the boneless buffalo wings, the honey sauce. That actually might hit. I should have did that, but I wanted to keep it to the sake of the review. For a chain sauce, this is probably like an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. The rest of this, I don't really care for it, and it just seems like something that you would throw together on a skillet. There's better skillets than this at Applebee's too. So I would give that a 4 out of 10. Now, when it comes to chain restaurants, it's probably one of the more difficult things if you're trying to have something that is relatively calorie friendly or macro friendly. There are some options, but a lot of these dishes are well over 12, 13, 1400 calories for an entree. Just so you know, you add the appetizers on, you're probably well over 2,000 just in one sitting if you are the type of person that finishes all your food. There are some options that are slightly lower calorie. But to me, this is probably the most balanced as far as enjoyability versus something that you're just eating plain as hell. So I got the 8-ounce top sirloin with their garlicky green beans and their mashed potatoes, which it says comes out to 620 calories, but you have to be careful when you're ordering sides. A lot of times they don't factor in the calorie sides when it comes to what you're ordering. If you get the broccoli, which is less calories, it's 100 versus the garlicky green beans, which is listed at 150. Now, there are some other skillet options that I'll put on the screen for you, but this is probably the most balanced of what I got. You can also get a smaller sirloin. I do have a 6-ounce version, but I'm not eating a 6-ounce sirloin. So that is what I got here. Have I had their sirloin? I don't know. We're about to find out. So I got mine medium rare, by the way. They actually gave me A1 sauce. I didn't ask for it. I don't usually eat steak with A1 sauce though. And we got the mashed potatoes and the green beans. The last time I got these green beans, they weren't garlicky at all. You can see the garlic on it this time, and they're much better. I don't know what happened the last time then. Much better. And the mashed. And this is good, because I don't have to give this away. I can keep this. But I don't know how you eat your steak. Cutting this with a plastic knife is wild, but it's doable. I also took a look at the appetizer menu, and the best thing I saw calorically was, again, for one person, the wonton tacos. But surprisingly, the boneless buffalo wings. You have to be careful with those though, because the listing that they have on there does not include the sauces. So when you actually go to add the sauces on there, it makes the sauces go up exponentially. If you're ordering sauces with things, the best thing, I keep saying the same thing, but it's just in case people didn't see the other videos, stay away from the creamier sauces, or even this hot honey sauce. This is very high in calories because there's a lot of honey and different things in it that are going to bring this up. Buffalo is usually the way to go, if that's your thing. And of course, the ranch is going to change things as well as the blue cheese. But this, especially if you're in the restaurant, I do find relatively enjoyable. And if you want to get sauces, you can add them on the side or do what you have to. But your best bet is either going to be this, the chicken, or the salmon, and then move off of that. So this is Applebee's new dessert. It's called the new Sizzlin' Caramel Apple Pie. It has layers of hot cinnamon apple pie, drizzled with caramel sauce, candied pecans, and of course, vanilla ice cream. If one person says it's pronounced pecan, which you're predictable and no one cares. Still love you though. Anyway, let's try this pie out. Now, this is gonna come in a skillet when you get it at Applebee's. This is clearly not a skillet, but what I did was I put the pie part in the air fryer for 5 minutes at like 350 degrees. I had to bring it back to life. The ice cream was in the freezer. So let's see what we got here. I do like pecans. All right, let's see this. Let's try it first without the ice cream. That's not bad. That's not bad. It's got a little crust on here. A little pie crust on here. You can see it right there. How much does it cost? $6? Honestly, for $6, I'm not mad at this at all. But we are comparing like for like. The Texas Roadhouse Granny's Apple Classic, which is a similar dish, costs $7.99, and it tastes much more like a homemade pie. This is $5.99. That's easily $2 better. But for what it's worth, this really isn't bad. Nice and sweet, and it almost tastes like a combination between an apple and a pecan pie. Not an elite version, but a pretty decent version. Add that with some ice cream, and if you're at Applebee's, I do think if you're an apple pie person, but make sure you like pecan pie as well, you will more than likely enjoy this. People who are asking about calories, this entire skillet, including the ice cream, is over 1,000 calories. I believe it's 1060. It's a lot of calories. There's less than that steak with the mashed potatoes and the green beans. I'm pointing at it because right over there that I was talking about before. So just be wary. I'm not trying to scare people with the calories, but I'm trying to spell it out for you because a lot of you ask. But on a scale of 1 to 10, on a chain scale, this gets a 6. It's pretty good. I'm not mad at it. I just, you know, Texas Roadhouse right over there. I'm actually saving some of the chicken that I had to go with my steak and mashed, so I don't have to have too much stuff at the end of the day. I'll be having some plain ass chicken with some seasoning, of course, and then some vegetables. That's what I'm having with the rest of this. That'll be my calories for the day. Now, I do, of course, for the sake of being thorough, want to address some of the comments that I have seen when it comes to me providing or giving you ideas for healthier options at some of these chain restaurants. I'm not criticizing anybody. I am just providing the context of where this is coming from. And sometimes people write things that I think just involves a little bit of critical thinking, and you would probably have the answer instead of just typing something where you say things. And it's more pertaining to this. There's some people that will type things or write things in the last 2 videos I made when I was talking about healthier options of why would someone eat at Popeyes if they were trying to go on a diet or something along those lines, or you can just make that at home. That's stupid. There's a lot of times people write things like, oh, well, you know, you can just cook it. Why would you go to Chili's? I can make something better at home. That's not why people eat at restaurants. People eat at restaurants because of convenience. People eat at restaurants to be social. People eat at restaurants because they like it or some combination of it. And if it allows them to have a balance, which I believe in more than just strict dieting and boring food, your chances of being successful on your fitness, fat loss, or whatever journey, health journey, are much higher. There is a reason that registered dietitians will even tell you the same things that I'm telling you right now. Because it's a realistic goal. If it wasn't, I can guarantee you that 90% of those people that are writing those comments that are saying, oh, well, if you're on a diet, you have no discipline and things like that. Half of y'all ain't shredded. So what's your excuse? You probably eat out at these places just like everyone else's is. If it was that easy to just prep food, eat food, and work out routinely, the idea of all those things is easy. The application is the hard part. And what people like me who do things like this and have done things like this for a living try to do is provide realistic, balanced alternatives to something that you consider tedious. Being in shape is an easy thing in theory, right? You get up, you work out all the time. You don't eat fried food. You don't eat fast food. You don't eat anything with salt or sugar or anything of that nature. And over time, you'll probably be in pretty good shape. But if that were the easiest thing in the world to do, the majority of people would be doing it. Like, I consider myself a disciplined person, but my discipline comes from adhering to my schedule and adhering to my routine. It may not be what people see on the outside looking in as, oh, wow, he eats fast food or all that stuff. But I still know what I'm putting in my body every single day. I still get up and do the same things every day. And that's what has allowed me to maintain some sort of physical fitness, whether you want to talk about health, etc., for that, because consistency is the most key aspect to any form of success. And providing more alternatives will help people get to that. I clearly like ice cream and chips and cookies and things of that nature. I am not about to sit here and tell people to go live this boring ass lifestyle when I don't believe in that myself. I am not one of those do as I say, not as I do people. I will never be that. I believe in balance and I believe in consistency. And that is how you stay in some sort of shape in perpetuity, means forever. So for all the people saying things like that, while you may be right, realistically speaking, most people aren't going to do that. Not everybody has that sort of lifestyle goal, and most people are just looking for balance. Most people just want to feel good about themselves. Not everybody's trying to be shredded. Not everybody's trying to be able to run 20 miles in a single, standing. And that's not what most people's goals are. Most people just want to feel good about themselves. They want to be relatively healthy, and they want to still have a life and be social. That's something that I can believe in. So even though you probably knew the answer to that, I'm still going to put that out there so that people realize why I've sort of taken this bit of direction. Because for the last couple of years, while I do this, a lot of questions that I get are always pertaining to how are you still in shape? Or what are options? I get DMs from people, comments from people, listen, I'm X amount of weight, and what can I do to get back to something? Be a little more active, find better options as far as your diet goes, and you'll be much better than when you started. Just get the ball rolling. That's realistic. I'm a real person. I'm not a fitness influencer that's going to tell you some BS that they don't even listen to because half those people are on PEDs. And so that's why, and that's where it comes from. So I love y'all, man. I'm always going to keep it a buck with y'all, and I'm never going to tell you something that I wouldn't believe in because I'm not trying to sell you a program. I'm trying to give you ideas that are realistic for actual people that work and have kids and lives. Okay? They're not doing this for a living, so part of your job is to be insanely shredded and take drugs and not tell people you take drugs but sell supplements. You get my point? So I love y'all, man. We'll be back tomorrow. More content, man. And hand signs. They made it to YouTube.